Commissioner Budeman is absent. Commissioner Koenig,
Here.
Commissioner Rose,
Here.
Commissioner Stoliar,
Here.
Commissioner Hitchcock, Vice Chair Charlie,
Good evening.
and Chair Miles.
Here. All right, before we start with items on agenda, we'll start with time for public comment for items not on our agenda. Members of the public will be given 3 minutes apiece and can either raise a hand or email public comment to publiccomment@cortemadera.gov. Looks like we have our first person here. Hello.
Yes, good evening. Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity. My name's Richard Kalish. I live up on Edison Avenue, not far from here. So I used to take my dog to the park early in the morning. And there's another guy did the same. Our dogs didn't play much together. He liked to throw balls for his dogs. And my dog liked to run around and sniff at the trees and that kind of thing. So we were doing this every morning for quite some time. Guy comes over, enforcement person says, you can't do this. You have to have your dog on a leash. And I spoke for us. I said, look around. We're the only people here. Who are we inconveniencing? Who are we bothering? He said, that's the rule. You need to have a dog on a leash. He was recording us, and we would be cited if we didn't comply. Every morning, the park is empty. There's nobody there. Now, it seems to me, well, it's easy to say, well, we have a dog park. No problem. Take your dog into the dog park. That is a very easy response administratively. Solves the problem. You have a dog park. It fails to take into account how different dogs are. Larkspur has a large dog park and a small dog park because some dogs are large and some are small, and small dogs get intimidated by large dogs. I used to have a small dog. I couldn't go to the dog park with her. Some dogs are ball dogs. I had a ball dog, but she wouldn't chase a ball if other dogs were around. So I had to find a place where there was no dog so that she could get exercise. They're different. They have different needs. Seems to me that one thing the city should do for the residents of Corte Madera is to manage the facilities we have so that the maximum number of people who live here can use those facilities. Obviously, if there's a softball game going, my dog should not be on that ball field. But if there is no one in the park and the park is there, as a resident of San Rafael, shouldn't I be able to use it? And I'm not interfering with anybody else. In San Anselmo Memorial Park, they have a pretty enlightened rule. I wrote it down. Before 8 a.m. in the morning, you can have your dog there off leash before 8 a.m. Also, at before 9 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday. It's weekdays for before 8 a.m. We don't have to do what San Anselmo does. But the reason I'm here is to ask you to steward the park in such a way that the maximum number of Corte Madera residents can use it, as long as they're not interfering with the use of the park by other Corte Madera residents. So if there's nobody there at 7 in the morning, let people have a dog there off leash.
I was just going to say you've reached 3 minutes. But if you've reached the 3-minute time limit, but if you can wrap up your
just
thought.
a little bit more time. I don't want to. I'm not going to filibuster. I promise. We can find out that guy that came out from enforcement, who I said, look around, who am I bothering? He can come out. You can send him out on different days to make a determination of what hours the park is actually used, so that a reasonable, intelligent rule can be made so that more people can use the park. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And Tim, remind me when we get to agenda items, I feel like we have rules that we need to review at some point. At some point on the calendar year, do we have an agenda item in the future for dog park rules, dog rules? Rules
We
review?
don't for dog park rules. I mean, that can be something that can be looked at, but right now the park rules we adopted last year with the new signage.
Yeah,
But we haven't dove into dog park
or
rules.
specific. Okay.
He was asking. He wasn't asking about the dog park itself.
He was
but
asking
about
about
general.
the dogs in the
Yeah.
park rules.
Just wanna make sure
So
that's what
when do we have, I guess, first question, do we have on the agenda in the future to review rules before we post signage, or no? Okay. Maybe we'll see if we need to. You're giving me a look that makes me think something's already.
I think it's
presented.
tabled, and if you want a future agenda item, I think that would be where we would have it.
Yes, at a future agenda item, yes.
But I think
Um,
you're suggesting that the timing of that is of a consideration. Like if we're about to print thousands of dollars worth of signs, it would be before that.
Yeah,
It's most
but I feel like we
prudent.
did recently review park rules and we changed the times and we did all of that not 3 or 4 months ago. It feels, at a regular cadence, we should review these rules.
So I think we should stop.
Yeah.
And just take it in, and I think
Did. Yep. Okay. Rebecca, do we have any emails, public comments, or on raised hands?
We did not receive any emailed public comment for open time.
Right. At this time, we will, yes.
I received an email from somebody about recreation, and I thought I would pass that along and submit it for the record. And this was about the county starting to use the disabled all-terrain vehicle. And she said, I have a friend who test drove those. They're amazing. Perhaps this will inspire Corte Madera to get on the bandwagon and put something small in our park. Also, I took a good look at the rec center facade this morning. It is very sad, outdated, and uninviting looking building. I wonder if there are any long-term plans to update it. Thanks.
Thank you. Can you forward that email to me so I can include it with the record? Thank you.
If there are no other comments, we'll close public comment at this time and move on to the presentations. Yes. First presentation, annual programming report. Tim Barry.
okay, let me see if technology is with me tonight. Let's go. I'm gonna share. Looks good. Slideshow. I'm slow to see this. I'm sorry. From the beginning. No, I think you're good. There we go. That worked. Yay. Good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. First year of the meeting, first meeting of the year. Usually we kind of do a recap of kind of the year in the past, and this is where we at. On the cover here, we have a left photo is Mini Me Music, very energetic and fast, enthusiastic young kids music class. In the center, you have a wrecking photograph from a recent dance. Next, you have a summer camp or childcare. It looks like pizza making party. And then on the right, I think is one of the winners from the annual pumpkin carving contest we had in October. I'm going to
I just wanted to acknowledge my daughter in the front of the picture.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. The one stealing the show.
Wearing the lei and
Okay.
the little one. Thanks.
Get a simple breakdown to kind of what we do for communication, kind of the program classes we run, the special events that we do, the towns of organizations we support, and kind of the projects we've done, and then kind of a preview of the 2025, what's coming up. First, obviously, everybody loves the paper copy of the brochure activity guide. I think it's one thing that we will never go away from. People look forward to coming in the mail. They appreciate the hard work staff puts into it, and all the school menus that go out to all the schools. It is a tedious process to make it correct, but we value how much people look and are anxious for it. We feel that social media and MailChimp are good. I think people still appreciate the hard copy of the brochure. We promote all of our programs, obviously, through those activities. through town newsletter and through the website. And then are always looking through new ways to do it. The California Park and Rec Society, which we are a member of, always looking at new ways to promote activities. The new thing right now is try to get more stuff digitally to people's phones. Can you text somebody? Can you use something on a pop-up on a quick little Instagram that people can see? They'll link back to somewhere else because people, I will admit, live on our phones, and that's the quick way to check stuff of what's going on going forward. Youth program wise, obviously our goals in fun, safe, engaging, and affordable programs, after school enrichment, both at Cove and Neil Cummins. Corte Madera Children's Center, which is exploding right now. We had to have Rochelle go sub in today. We had 60 kindergartners today, which is an all-time high for a single day. So she got pulled in. Cindy and I will rotate through. They are bursting at the seams, which is great that parents are using it, on site, and how much they enjoy the program. Cornwall Football Club, again, another thing that's record highs this year, I believe 1,200 total, if not 1,300 total people in rec and comp, which is amazing. And then youth classes, both the dance studio, town park itself, and the community center, and below there are a variety of activities from, looks like kids carpentry to mad science to a dance class in the dance studio. Adult program classes, obviously used mostly at the community center itself. Everything from fitness classes to tennis and pickleball to bridge to bingo, watercolor, and senior lunch. And then again, very much valued having the Soma Aquatics again this summer. I know a lot of adults use it for water aerobics and exercise, and that will be again a thing we're looking for this summer to find a location because Redwood Pool's being resurfaced. And then the Corte Madera Invitational Arts Center, which is kind of the big, large adult event we do every winter, that had record number of attendance this year for people to come out and see the programs. Adult Development Stability is another program that is growing leaps and bounds, as Commissioner Stoller said. Third Friday dances, basketball for winners on Mondays, party nights, sports events, and special events. Aaron Duggan does an amazing job with this clientele and with the volunteers, both the school and at the community center. If you've never been to a wrecking event, it is the most rewarding, fulfilling activity because people are so excited just to be and interact. I think it's the social aspect that they enjoy. Even small thing, coloring or playing a board game or listening to a DJ and dancing, they very much have an amazing time. And you can truly see the volunteers that are there enjoy giving back to the community and working with that population. And they truly enjoy it. Events, I feel like our events grow year and year. I think we just keep adding more, even though Rebecca says you should slow down, but I think I keep adding more and more. Twin City Egg Hunt this year didn't happen because it got rained out. We pivoted and said eggs to go. So we had people come by and pick up all of the eggs, all 10,000 eggs gone. We prepackaged them in bags and people took them and had the eggs sent to their house. Staff pivoted and made it work. Friday family movies in the park, big band dances, painted bins project, pumpkin carving, Halloween dance, a frienda, worm coat, letters Santa, and gingerbread house. Obviously all events that have been growing strong and have good enrollment. I believe in the picture there with the gingerbread house, that is a multi-generation family that came and had shirts made and came and did the gingerbread house decorating. One of our most exciting events, one of our most sticky events, but people have the most fun because they come and make a mess at the rec center, not at your house. So it is the most fun. Other events that we support or participate in, 4th of July, Trick or Trot this year had over 700 people, the largest I've ever seen. Summer concert series, we coordinated the volunteer recognition with the help of the Lions Club. Oktoberfest, the age-friendly Corte Madera non-Nigerians lunch, which is always a great event to see. The Talent Buck concerts, then obviously Corte Madera Lions Club has either a comedy show or an event. This year they're planning a square dancing event coming up, so that's coming new to see. So they're changing it up this year. And there's some pictures of myself and Julia 4th of July concerts, Oktoberfest, and then obviously the grand opening at Town Hall, which was a great event. Town civic organizations, all that we work with closely on a daily basis, either for hosting events or promoting activities or giving back to the community. Lions Club, Women's Club, Foundation, Beautification Committee, Town Band, Larkspur Mothers Club, Friends of Corte Madera Library, Age Friendly, and the NRGs. And then at the council meeting last week, the council did approve Spark being added to this group. So next year, Spark will be on this group, and already working with the executive director to figure out dates for next year and to figure out so they're ready to go. So they're planning ahead, which is great. It helps us kind of plan out our year to make sure we're all on the same page. Project this past year, it's been busy. Town Park pickleball courts are very close to opening. Skylab Skate Park, very close to opening. Hopefully both will open in February is the plan. They're very close right now. Community center dishwasher got installed and is working. We had a little bump in the road to get it going. Once we got it, it's been a life-saving event. People don't have dirty hands or dish hands. It's quite a powerful machine to work once it works. We put new LED lights in the community center. They were before, if you remember, they were kind of dim and kind of dungy. We put some new lights in, fully dimmable. And then again, the last is the improved field maintenance program of the East Fields and West Fields. So they're playable for sports year round. Finally, next year, the 2025 work plan was presented at the strategic plan meeting last Thursday. It'll go in front of council on February 4th, hopefully with what was approved. And we'll talk about it later when we go into the director's reports to kind of help us guide the 2025 year. Events so far that have happened in 2025, which seems we just started, but we've been busy already. Civic Rec, the new registration management system launched, and it's been such a game changer for us. Our old system was being sunsetted out, so we had no choice, but went through an RFP process, picked the system that worked the best for us, and it's been great for staff. And we're learning every day the little quirks of it, and it's been a great new program. We're opening the grand opening of the skate park and dedicated pickleball courts, hopefully in the middle of February. Moral bench program was adopted by council last meeting, so that will be going forward. We have a set process and a set fees and kind of just how it all work. And I know people are anxious to start that. The Royal Ball is a new event that we were doing starting February 7th. It is a night for people to come get dressed up and have a fancy event. So we're going to have a catered dinner. We're going to have desserts. We're going to have dancing. We're going to have a photo booth. I think there's 112 people registered right now for basically inclusive to anybody who wants to come. I know that we used to do the father, daughter, mother, son. People were concerned that it didn't include everybody. It's a couple of my community foundation members said, hey, I couldn't go because I didn't fit in this one. It's a Royal Ball. Sydney Bliss, rec supervisor, and Alex and Poga from childcare running it. They're super excited. And then inside the rec center. And the last thing is in 2025, we're going to bring a family camp out back. So Sydney Bliss and I used to run one in Burlingame years ago. It'll probably be tied in with the movie in August when school's back in session. So we'll do a family camp out in the park, do dinner, a movie, some games and activities, and then breakfast the next day for kind of our new addition for big events for 2025. And that is all I have. I have a couple more photos just here of cheerleading on the bottom right, the last year's adult softball champions, a sewing class, summer camp at a field trip to, I believe that's the bowling alley, if I'm not 100% correct, a theater class on the top left, and another family who enjoyed the gingerbread house decorating. Any questions for me?
This is one of my favorite things to talk about because there's so much goodness. I haven't heard anything about the new rec program, the new software, which means it's going well because no one's going to say it's so great, but everybody would let me know if it was a problem. So lovely to hear that that's going really well. And I think you're right on the printed brochure. I get every time one comes out, someone will text me and say, look, I'm famous.
I think the biggest, one of the biggest features of the new rec management system is you used to lose your space. So now when you go in and put it in your cart, it stays in your cart, kind of like you're doing concert tickets. So basically it stays in your cart until you check out. So it's your spot. You've saved. Even if you go and do 3 more things, it still has your spot. Where the old system was if you booked it and somebody else went faster and booked just that site, you got bounced. That was a big complaint we had. So we said we want to make sure it holds it till you finish registration and then you have your spot. That was a big thing we look forward to the system.
Has anybody asked for adult language lessons or language classes? Has that ever come up?
We have not asked for that yet, no, but we can search for a teacher, but we have not asked for it.
I don't know if I'm the only one aspiring to speak language, but I was curious.
Is there a second language you'd like me to look into?
Spanish, but yeah, I mean, yeah, in the evenings. Okay, look, see, we've got a class already. But yes, I think that was just, I think that would be very fun. Any other questions from?
No questions, but thank you, Jim. This is an awesome presentation and so much hard work goes into all of these events and adding more for next year is great, or this year. It's really a great reflection of the work that your whole team is doing.
I must say we have very blessed to have the team that we have. We have very dedicated individuals who work weekends, work nights, want to do the best they can. And same with our contract instructors who really want to give back to the community. I'm very lucky to have the team that I have, and we work well together and want to put the best product we can out there.
Shows.
No question. I just wanted to say very impressive results for this year. So thank you for all that you do and the staff. Thanks.
Just want to echo again, no questions, but every event that I've participated in has been sheer joy. I've been getting feedback from a lot of people in the community, very, very supportive. They want more, and you're giving it to them. So thank you very much.
And it's been selling out. All these things. I couldn't make it. I didn't sign up fast enough for a couple of things in the fall. Like the gingerbread house. I was like, what do you mean it's sold out? Yeah, that's us. Those are Parks and Rec events, sold out only. Awesome. Okay. No other presentations. Do we have public comment? Am I getting raised hands or email public comment?
We do not have any hands raised for public comment, and we did not receive any emailed public comment.
So moving on to the consent calendar, these are items that are routine or have been previously discussed and not require any further discussion. Any member of the public is welcome to make a comment or pull an item from the consent calendar for further discussion. We'll start by asking if anyone for the commission would like to pull anything from our consent calendar for discussion. That is the approved minutes from December the 16th. For special commission meeting. Do we have any emailed or public raised hands?
There are no raised hands and no emailed public comment was received.
Bringing it back to the commission for a possible motion, would anyone like to approve the minutes from the December 16th special commission meeting?
I move to approve the minutes.
A second.
Excellent. Rebecca, can we have a vote, please?
Commissioner Bodeman, Commissioner Koenig,
Yes.
Commissioner Rose,
Yes.
Commissioner Stoliar,
Yes.
Commissioner Hitchcock, absent. Vice Chair Charlie,
Yes.
and Chair Miles.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Moving on to business items. Receive and review the summary of the 2024 Corte Madera Recreation Scholarship Program.
So annually now we come back and kind of give an update of where we were for the year. This is our third year in kind of a more formalized process. I think we've got it down to where it makes the most sense. People know about the program, they fill out the application, they provide the proper documentation, and we're able to award as much scholarship as we can. Obviously, our goal is always to offer scholarship to low-income families and adults who participate in our rec programs. Obviously, we see the need, we get the request, we want to fill as best we can. At this time, there are no huge changes to the program, kind of just to review. Program is promoted through all our usual channels. It's on our website. It's promoted in the schools. It's promoted in the newsletter. It's available in both English and Spanish. We work very closely with the school district for kids who need after-school care or who need enrichment care or summer care to basically fulfill that need, so those kids are taken care of. This year, we had about 55 applicants for all of our programs, everything from Camp Corte Madera to enrichment classes to childcare, to our youth and youth senior classes, which is great. It's an uptick of about 10 to 15% from last year, which is great. We awarded a little over $65,000 total, which is great. Truly seeing that is the need that we are getting from the requests from our community. Again, working closely with the district to make sure we are fulfilling the need. The change from last year to this year, excuse me, the biggest change, we basically really honed in just Corte Madera Larkspur residents or Larkspur Corte Madera students. In the years previous, we had a greater Marin area. It really didn't make any sense. And basically this year we've gotten the requests from the people who kind of fit in that category. We work very closely with the Corte Madera Soccer Club Foundation to fund some of those students who are outside of the area who want to play soccer. We meet on a regular basis to basically fund that we can, as many in Corte Madera Larkspur and the ones that can't, to figure out a way those kids can still participate in the after-school Corte Madera program. Again, $600 max per person, $1,000 max per family, and $200 per adult. That is an additional request. If I have additional funds or people ask for more, I usually work with the families to say, can I subsidize some more? And can I give more of a scholarship to get them through what they need? Again, twice a year, we ask for those applications. We'll take them all year and just put them in a folder and then work really closely with soccer, because we understand soccer is a big commitment. We want to say, hey, if you want to play Corte FC, it's this amount of money. Here's how much we can scholarship for you, so that you know what your commitment is before they sign on the dotted line and say, I want to play rec soccer, comp soccer, whatever. So there's no surprise to the family. The breakdown is there. Last summer, we had 28 students who were in Camp Corte Madera directly from the district. We had 15 Camp Corte Madera students who were not part of that program, 21 in childcare, 8 in enrichment, 7 in youth, 5 in comp soccer, 3 in rec soccer, and 3 senior who did different classes. Alex, who runs our childcare program, really works to find any way we can get funding sources for these students. She works very closely with the Marin Childcare Council to say, if we can't fund enough, here's another opportunity. In 2024 alone, an additional $30,000 was given to families who qualified for programs. So it's a little more labor intensive where we have check-in and check-out sheets that are required from them. We basically submit it monthly and then we get a check in the next month, but really working with those families to say, here's another opportunity if you qualify, and here are the connections and here are the contacts. So you can still come in either summer camp, enrichment, or childcare. It's mostly childcare and a little bit of summer camp, but working very closely, with the Marin Childcare Council to give funding that we needed. Again, last year we supported the district and those kids who were in summer school. I honestly don't know what the plan is yet for this year. We've reached out to the school a couple of times and haven't had a firm, yes, it's going to happen. No, it's not. When we ended last summer, it was going to be, I'm not sure it's going to happen, but we'll let you know if it does. So our plan is still support if it happens. If it doesn't, then we may see an uptick in regular scholarships requested throughout the summer. But I think it was a funding source for the district at the time to say, I'm not sure if the program's coming back. It was a great program for those kids who had fallen behind. And then those kind of 3 weeks to kind of catch back up and get ready for next year. But again, if they come out to reach out to us, we will again support them and again have the program again this year. Otherwise, this time looking for just any type of suggestions or change to the program. Otherwise, my recommendation is basically to keep the same. And in the budgetary process, ask for the appropriate amount to cover scholarships again for the 2025 year.
So Tim, the 30,000 from the Marin Child Care Council, is that in addition to this?
In addition, it's in total in addition. Yeah, it doesn't include part of any scholarship. We just help them facilitate so they fill out the program right, fill out the application, and basically, that they get the funding they need to come in camp. So, yeah, totally separate.
And then this is our second or third year.
I want to say it's our third year.
Like it is.
I say it's our third year.
And I feel like our first year we asked for $10,000.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a meaningful difference to now have an understanding of where this is going. And it is so heavily weighted to childcare and childcare like activities. It's amazing. Any other questions from the commission before we open up to public comment?
I was following up on the heavily weighted to childcare. Is that a intentional policy, or is that just how the cookie crumbles? And I wondered if we have any suggestions for how to get the word out to seniors, because out of the 55 applications, 3 were seniors, and I think probably people don't know that they can take classes and get help paying for it. Thanks.
I think the largest amount comes from obviously the collection with the school, and parents know that there's a program that's now in its 3rd year of existence. It's got a good connection with the school, and they basically steer them to us and say, if you need your funding, we can help as much as we can, but there's an additional source from the school, either for the Child Care Council or through us. And I think that's where, us being on campus is a huge asset. I mean, that program is busy every day. And I think that's where it is. I think we can do a better job adding to the seniors. I think the senior cost is, most programs are very inexpensive, $5 or $10, where the childcare is maybe $60 a day. So it's a little higher, but we can still promote to those classes. Yes.
Well, I was thinking like pickleball or something that's a watercolor painting that's, hundreds of dollars. And I think there's a limit of 200 per year per person.
There's a limit for 200 before, but like I said, if I get additional requests, I will work with them to find funding. And the very few senior requests I've gotten, we've always granted them and given them whatever they needed.
Tim, I believe you had some, with the new system, there's more flexibility with payment plans and things like that as well.
So the new system is great in that I can allocate someone funds and basically add it to their account, and they basically use it for the year, however they see fit. And then I also can set up payment plans for automatic payments to withdrawn from a credit card or debit card, spread out over whatever we set up for. So that's all set up on the back end, and they don't have to worry about calling us or us calling them. And then, like I said, the nice part of being able to allocate people a general scholarship or a discount, and they just automatically applies when they go to check out. So much.
Were you able to add on that? Would you like to donate to people that need help on the registration?
I don't know if we have done that yet. I know it's one of our questions. We have a couple that we're still having meetings with them to kind of shore up some questions. That is one of them. So they have not done it yet, but I will ask them to follow on it.
Becca, do we have any public comment?
There are no raised hands at this time, and we did not receive any emailed public comment.
There's no further discussion. We can move on to 5B, discussion and possible action to set commission meeting calendar for 2025.
This one may be a tricky one. So if everyone has calendars available, so we can find some mutually agreeable dates for one or two of the trickier months.
So in front of you have kind of a draft calendar with, obviously, Rebecca said, some tricky couple dates to kind of figure out. I think the two big conflicts are May 26th, which is obviously a holiday, September 22nd in observance of Rosh Hashanah, and then November 24th and December 22nd to kind of those dates that we traditionally have not met because it is very close to holiday and some challenges. So I think those are our dates that we have questions about. The other one is we had talked about having a special meeting on December 15th, however that is, right in the middle of Hanukkah there. So discussion on how we want to handle that. I think we learned last year having it the first Monday in December was tough because people were still coming back from Thanksgiving break. A lot of people were sick and still traveling, so we're not going to recommend that. We'd like to recommend on the 15th or another date for the year. And then talking about the December date of possibly December 8th, obviously depending on the flood board and that kind of discussion. But I'd like to kind of go through the conflict dates and see what people think. Obviously, Rebecca said the calendar might be most helpful and see what commission's thoughts are on dates and times and if we want to move dates or even days of the week and see how that fits in everyone's calendar.
Should we start in May? Is that the easiest one?
Probably.
It's May 19th. I don't have any plans that far out. Okay. Moving down, the next one would then be September 22nd. Conflicts with Rosh Hashanah. So from a space perspective, is it any Monday in September we could do?
There is a fifth Monday that month.
Right.
So I think Tim's recommending
The
that
29th of September.
Seems reasonable to me.
I don't have any plans. Yeah. Okay. September 29th.
I think all of these are, unless people have their calendars set so far in advance, I think these are all sort of like, in principle, that seems very reasonable,
Correct.
right? Yeah, so that seems reasonable to me in principle.
Yeah. So December, right now, we're looking at the 15th. Would the 8th be better? That's the question on the
The
table.
8th isn't available, right?
The 8th is depending if the flood board is having a meeting or not. I think last year they did not have a meeting.
not, but it was a last minute.
Right. So we either can, pencil the 15th and then talk about when it gets closer. I just think the 22nd is obviously the week of Christmas. It's just too hard. People on vacation. It's a challenge. And I think we learned, like I said, the first Monday after people are still on Thanksgiving, food coma. So it's a little hard.
Yeah.
The 15th is right in the middle of Hanukkah.
Correct. That is the other discussion. Correct.
The idea that maybe we, on this one, so November is done, we're not having any meeting then, but the idea is for December, maybe we pick an alternative date rather than a Monday, like a Wednesday or Thursday. Is that what I see
Yes, you could also pick a November date in lieu of that, but the obvious choice would likely be November 17th, which is pretty soon after your October meeting, because the November 24th date would be the week of Thanksgiving.
Are there Wednesdays or Thursdays available from a space perspective? Could we do the 17th or the 10th?
Yes, there would be a Thursday or a Wednesday option. Right now, the only regular board or commission meeting that meets on a Wednesday is the Climate Action Committee, which is the third Wednesday.
We want to do the 10th? Let's do December the 10th. Is there anything else happening that day? Have any plans? Shouldn't be good.
There shouldn't be, but let me.
It's so far away, I know.
Okay, December 10th is currently available on the town's public meetings calendar.
Let's take it. Or somebody sneaks in there. Right? Rebecca, do we have any raised hands or public comment about our meeting schedule?
We did not receive any emailed public comment. Don't believe there are no raised hands.
So next we'll move on to staff updates and commission reports.
So I'll go back and update the agenda for next meeting, reflecting those changes. So it has, I penciled it in. Sorry, go back. Do you want to start strategic plan? Or do you want me to start? Okay. So I unfortunately was sick last week. I missed the strategic planning meeting. We submitted the items that was presented from the commission meeting. Everybody, the council was supportive of the items that were elevated. They will discuss them and approve them at the February 4th meeting. There was a lot of discussion on how to tackle some of the larger items, a phased approach for both Menke Park and both for the town park playground to figure out, can we do the whole playground and the resilient service at the same time? Or is it going to be a playground first and resilient service after that? So those were things that have to be kind of ironed out the next meeting. On other items that weren't generated at commission, obviously the continued work to find a space for intergenerational center that is still high on the list of strategic plans for both many departments going forward. And then for Parks and Rec, one of my carryover items is updating the facility use agreements with all the town civic organizations. With Spark coming on board, it was a good opportunity to say, let's clean them up, let's get them up to date, and let's basically get them right, so that they're good going forward and groups know where they stand and how that all works. The Memorial Branch program is kind of a carryover because it hadn't really started yet, so that's on the list again for this year. And then Steve Detwell and myself are going to work with kind of establish a field allocation policy. There really is no kind of policy of who gets the field when, facilities, gyms, everything else. And we're just looking for something basic to say it's, Quarter Larkspur, Park and Rec activities first, and then everybody else besides that. So Steve will work on that with kind of surveying a couple cities of what they're doing. And just so that if someone says, I want to use this field, why can't I? Or I want to use this gym, why can't I? So just a pretty basic policy to be set forward. One of the big things that for me, the work plan this year is to address the issues and the concerns for the residents of the Pixley area, of the people who are having illegal picnics late into the night, people who are having the parties and stuff. So that is a thing that I'll be working on to figure out how do we, obviously with the new signage coming in, but also enforcement and education, and figuring out a way to basically stop that so it's not a nuisance to the neighbors who are in the neighboring area and who are having the parties, were the largest complaints we get for on a regular basis from those groups. What did I forget?
That was actually a very good summation. I did handle Tim's items for him. He sent me a statement to read talking about the process that the commission undertook over 2 meetings to narrow down items to discuss further and then to further hone in on the items that you wish to have supported. and considered for inclusion in the plan. And it was a very thoughtful process that we as staff are proud of and wanted to share that with the council. So they appreciated hearing that feedback. An item that came up in the council's discussion that wasn't staff initiated was that council wanted to have the opportunity to have the Chamber of Commerce included on the list of town affiliated organizations that could use town facilities such as the community center's main hall for without charge if the need arose. So they asked that we bring that back to amend the recently adopted fee schedule to include the Chamber of Commerce. I think that is it. I believe that's it.
Any questions on that item before the next one? All right, perfect.
Well, how will the kind of, we put together a proposal that went to council. How will the budget process play out from here? Is that kind of, was that like we've made our big ask?
So that'll be the next step, obviously, for council to figure out when they adopt it, hopefully in February, how we allocate which funds to what and how long it will commit to. So obviously some of the bigger topics, either the town park playground or the East Field or Menke Park, where the funds will go for capital for this year and then any years going forward. So that'll be discussion with finance and public works.
So the February 4th meeting. What that is a continuation. I really wanted to actually be at the strategic meeting, but it was right.
So the
in the
strategic
middle of the-
planning workshop is an all day. It went from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the council does not vote on anything at that point. They give direction to staff. Each department head or management team member presents items from their specific area of work. And that is what's comprised of the plan that was in the published agenda packet. That packet, that was discussed, and any items they weren't ready to or weren't comfortable moving forward with gets removed from the document that is then presented to the full council on February 4th as sort of a way for staff to come back and say, this is what we heard as direction from you. Do you accept this as the staff work plan for 2025? So at that point, they can discuss anything that they didn't include at the time during their discussions. They can bring up, if they decide they want to take other items off of the work plan, they can do that at that time. They can add at that time. They'll take input if you would like to be there to discuss anything that you feel you would like discussed. The public can do that as well.
So is the February 4th, then they're actually taking action, or is
Correct.
it's a first reading, a second reading, or they're taking action?
No, it's to solidify the plan as proposed from the town manager.
Thanks. And then you mentioned something else about council. It sounded as if it was a direction for us to include the Chamber of Commerce into the fee schedule, or to consider and agendize that for discussion in the same way that Spark came.
They wanted, the request was to bring that back for council to amend the fee schedule that they just approved.
Got it, for them to amend.
yes,
Okay, I was like,
Not more work for the commission, unless, of course, you had comments that you wished us to take back to council, but part of the discussion at the work plan was ways to support the chamber more. It's struggling right now with the transient occupancy tax situation and the potential hotel closure and some other things. So they wanted staff to work with the chamber to see how we could better support their efforts to support the town and the town's events in the business community. And that was one. We don't know if there's a need for the use of the main hall, but they wanted to make sure that it was codified somewhere if the need is up for things like bringing back the state of the town. Yeah, we don't have a definite ask yet, but it was
it's
to
coming.
prepare for if an eventual need.
Okay, thanks.
A potential need.
Good. Okay. As I said earlier, the Royal Ball is slotted for February 7th, Friday night. There is still enrollment if anybody would like to participate. They will, I believe, have a prince and a princess there to take photos. But it is Sydney and Alex and Pogo are very excited for the event. There's a lot of buzz about it, so we're very excited to see it happen. Scotty Lop's Town Park Skate Park Ground opening is slotted right now for middle of February. When we get official details, we will obviously share and invite everyone to come out. They're very close to being done. They're waiting on some fencing. I was out there today. And like I said, we're hoping for a grand opening in February. Winter Spring Enrichment has about 375 people enrolled right now, which is about right. Classes have been, are some of the classes filled up within minutes. Went a wait list and were able to identify what we could and couldn't add and add more enrollment, which is great. So that enrollment has been strong. And the last is the California Park and Rec Society Awards Installation Banquet is here in Corte Madera on February 22nd. I am being installed as the District 1 president. District 1 runs from Marin to the Oregon border. We are a wide area. It's a large area. So this is my third year serving in the term. I was president-elect. I was vice president, president-elect, and now president. So I will be sworn in as the president of D1. And then we'll guide them for the next year on meetings, on special events, on projects, and serve in that role for a year. So I'm very excited for that. We also be recognizing, and cities have a chance to recognize people who do large projects or give back to community. We recognized Scotty Lap Foundation at that time. We did painted bins last year, Kathy Huber and her work when it was in Mill Valley. So that is a big event on the 22nd held in Corte Madera. Thank you.
Yes, Patty.
I have a question about both pickleball and the Scotty Lap Park. I remember there was some concern about noise and there were going to be some changes made to the design to try to decrease that. Did that happen?
So the sound blankets are up. Obviously, we won't know yet because people aren't playing pickleball or on the skate park, but they did put sound blankets up to mitigate some of that noise. So when it opens up, we'll obviously see any complaints we get, but they did put the blankets on to stop that noise.
I just had one comment. I've had a few people come up to me saying, congratulations on opening up the Scotty Lap skate park. I've been seeing a lot of kids out there out and about. So I guess my question is pertaining to, do we have somebody enforcing it? Is there a liability if somebody gets hurt when I don't even know the state of it, if there's, construction equipment that people could really hurt themselves on?
So it is fenced off. There are some park closed signs, which covers us for liability wise. It's mostly cosmetic right now is what the last thing to be on the skate park is basically open, not open. It's ready to go. It just some last minute things they're fixing, but basically it's cordoned off. I would say it's just youth, but I have some adults who bring their moms and dads out there too, even though yes, we didn't put the fencing, but yes, for right now it is. And there will be a camera in that general area that covers both the skate park and the pickleball court in that area. So when that comes up, but yes, it is. Code enforcement will also be working with them when that goes opens to work on those enforcements.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right. Updates from recent town council meetings. It has me on here, but I did my update for early December in their December meeting at December 16th. So we should be talking about January, but yes. Can I put you on the spot? You ready?
Put me on the spot.
Awesome.
It'll be short and sweet. I did watch the video. I was not able to attend in person. This was January 21st. There were some comments. Tim, you did a great presentation. I think we've addressed most of what I have kind of on my list, but there's a couple things. The Lions Club was expressing concern over the community center aesthetics. I think that they've got, certainly invested interest on it, but there is a lot of comments coming up on whether to approve it. We've discussed it here. I believe it is kind of on our agenda and we are aware. Tim, you did staff reports, the tennis and pickleball. They were supporting what our subcommittee was suggesting as far as eliminating keys. Everything went through the reservation system. The master fee schedule, seems like they were on board and very supportive of that. Spark being added to the list went very smooth. And then lastly, the Memorial Park bench program was a lot of logistics. Who can donate, the duration, and they approved all of that as well. So congratulations on the whole hard work there. And I think that's everything that pertains to Parks and Rec.
I think one thing we learned is that the donation is a tax deductible donation. So if someone does donate a bench or a picnic table or a water fountain, they can get a donation, a tax deductible donation from the town. So it was good to learn that. And I think it will come in handy on her future adventures and projects.
So I actually thought I swapped with Lisa, so I also attended.
Okay. Anything I missed?
No, I thought you did a great job. The only thing I wanted to say is that, council did have questions about the fee schedule, which were ably answered by Tim. So I won't add anything to the update other than to say that Tim does a really excellent job of representing the commission, the town. I mean, it was quite lovely to see. But then also just to note that the council did then, both motions passed with respect to, I think, the fee schedule and the approval of the proposed donation and memorial program. So he did, but great job, Tim.
Thank you.
So now I'm not sure what month I'm covering.
We'll find.
Do we need to update this?
No, it's right.
Was my name not
No,
listed
you
for
were
January?
January, Budaman is February.
February. Yeah.
But I obviously messed it up.
You did a great job.
No.
It's always good to make sure we're covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep an eye on the council. The executive advisory committee did not meet. Any update from the ad hoc pickleball tennis court rules committee? Do we need to continue to have an ad hoc pickleball tennis court rules committee?
I think we discussed that last time and we were going to push that out 6 months. So
6
I think we
months,
should just continue it and maybe reestablish it down the road.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to do it.
That's the way to do it. And then the 2025 work plan ad hoc committee. Any Dates from that group? No. All right.
Does that need to continue?
Does that need to continue?
I think it'll be formed again next year when we go through the process again, and maybe new members, but I think it definitely is something that was very helpful in kind of presenting everything for the 2-meeting process.
Yes, I think we can disband our ad hoc committees for the time being. Yeah, and then routine and other matters. Are there any potential future agenda items? I think the only one that kind of loosely, Tim, in the time of year where it makes sense, maybe we revisit our rules and make sure we still focus.
Are we talking dog park rules or park rules in general?
Park rules in general, just like a park rules, how we doing check-in. Whenever staff feels like that's an appropriate time to do it on some sort of cadence by which we feel like we need to address. As things change, right? Like we had the whole motorized bikes, didn't see coming, right? So it may just have it as annual cleaning.
Okay.
Would be my only suggestion there. Anyone else have a potential future agenda item?
So a future agenda item that came out of the strategic planning committee was a dirt mound kind of, how do you say, natural seeding or
A berm.
a berm.
Building a berm similar to the berm that exists over by the canal adjacent to the east field and the berm that is sort of naturally occurring around the back of the softball diamond and around the basketball court.
And so this is the berm between the pickleball court and the Westfield. Love it.
And where trees and
Has to be.
the new picnic area will eventually be installed.
We need to have an agenda item about the berm.
Correct.
Do you need direction from us as to when to put that on, or do you want to?
Council asked that our public works director brought this up because the dirt mound is very visible in Town Park right now. And he wanted to let them know what the intent was for that. We either will use it to build this berm and seating area and separation between the two use areas, or the dirt will be taken away. The dirt was, it came out of the excavation of the new skate park and the excavation of the new bathroom facility in Town Park. And it was put there to hold for this potential future use. But the discussion about rules made me just remember that we needed to bring this up to you. Council, the public works director asked for direction on if this was a project they wanted to see proceed, and council felt that this was best taken up by the Parks and Recreation Commission for consideration of the use in the area and rules and potential hazards and the pros and cons of putting in this project.
Okay. Should we discuss this now, or do we need to put this on February? I mean, it's.
No, it would need to be
It's
agenda.
Future item, yeah.
Okay, so let's put it on the February agenda. And don't let them take away the dirt yet. They're gonna have to put a lock and key on it.
Yeah,
So,
it's not going anywhere.
yeah, Patty will sit on the dirt until we can make a plan. Never let dirt go to waste. I didn't ask actually the other commissioner updates. We can let the Parks and Rec director know that the grass, the 2-season grass, the fact that we have cool season and warm season grass makes it green and beautiful all year round.
Yep.
Okay. Any other future potential items? Dirt and rules.
I have a question. I brought up a while ago about what to do with hot coals. Does that need to be agendized to add some sort of disposal system?
We'd have to add disposal systems in the park. Right now, they're just supposed to leave them in the pits and then Public Works takes them away. But there is no current receptacle for them right now. So it'd be something you'd want to, if they wanted to see added to an amenity in the park, like a coal disposal place.
Only if it's problematic, leaving them in the pits.
I haven't had any issues with them. I mean, I may do some research to figure out what it would cost and like to add one in a general area where the picnic areas are. I've seen them in other locations. But it's something else that would be, again, the danger of moving hot coals into another area when you're done or leaving them there to extinguish is, yeah. So
And if it hasn't been an issue,
I haven't had an issue with it. I don't know.
Mhm.
It hasn't been, but we can discuss with the Public Works team and see if they have any thoughts.
Do we have any, it doesn't sound like we have any need for any ad hoc committee assignments, any new ones? Items for yearly review. We have looked at the calendar. The next town council meeting is Lisa or Emily. We're unsure, maybe both. All right. If there's nothing else, we can close this meeting. Yep. Thanks, everybody, for your attendance and participation.
Thank you.